Good Tuesday morning. Here's your weather outlook for the next week. Currently, we have this high bringing the cooler air into the region, so it won't be as warm as it could be today just because of that influence. In general, though, we're seeing some southerly component to the wind, so it's trying to get it warmer. We'll be up in the 60s today. But that's going to finally abate tomorrow, so it'll go away and we'll get the southerly winds. But we'll also have this approaching front, and there's such a contrast in temperatures and energy and everything else that we have an outline for the potential for an isolated severe storm tomorrow. And so we'll have to watch. I'm not overly impressed right now, but we'll look at the short-term models here in a minute. Just kind of re-emphasize that. It's a wild pattern because we're fighting with this front trying to make its east, and all this rain, these poor people here in the middle part of the country are just going to get walloped with so much rain. I mean, we're talking like a foot or more in places. So flooding's going to be a big issue there, and it's just not doing great as it kind of comes in our area. Now, Friday, it finally looks like some rain comes through, and then this front has a hard time making its way out of the area. So we have chances on and off of showers and storms straight through the weekend. Probably more likely on Friday and then maybe some on Saturday, but then won't be till Sunday when this front comes through that we're going to see the better chance of some rain. And we definitely need it. That's going to then usher in a lot of colder air as this low. And honestly, it's a piece of the polar vortex. I mean, the polar vortex isn't quite as strong as it has been in the past. So anyway, it's going to come through, and it's going to be really chilly, very windy as we go into Tuesday next week. I wouldn't be surprised if highs are only in the 40s, maybe low 50s on that day. It quickly kind of retreats to an extent, and then we stay in this drier pattern. I mean, maybe a few showers here and there, but nothing really soaking by any means. Little shots of little impulses of rain is not going to do it. It does look like a cooler pattern. We don't get the southwesterly or southerly winds until late. This is all the way out on the 13th before I'm really seeing a chance for things to really turn around. Unfortunately, this trajectory of precipitation is not good for us. Looks very, very dry. So then as we move into the extended, it looks like it will be warmer, not as cool as it was, but not super wet either. So really a big challenge. And I hope that on Thursday, Friday, and then maybe as the front gets and the low kind of wraps up this coming weekend, that we get a better chance of some rain. Because the severe storm prediction center has outlined us for potential for strong storms tomorrow, I just want to show kind of what the radar, the precip and reflectivity shows us. So here we are. I mean, this is Thursday at 10 p.m. So I don't know what they're picking up on. It doesn't look like a really strong chance of severe. I really didn't see much precipitation really get in here till Friday. So not much in the next 2 days really on this map at all. So I think it's just because it's such a strong, there's some upper dynamics that are really strong, so if something can trigger it, we would get some more rain. All right, this model is a little less granular on what it can look at. So this is Thursday, 11 p.m. Maybe some showers are going to move through. Nothing really severe or anything looking severe on this map at all. Even all the way until Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m. Not much really showing up on these models. So I have to see how things pan out here in the next couple of days as to how well we're going to get with the hookup rain. But I don't like it for an outlook. So even though there is the risk, I'm concerned about how much precipitation and real energy comes in here. Here's what the Weather Prediction Center is showing for the next 7 days as far as rain goes. And you don't see a lot. Maybe a half an inch, maybe a little bit more, but not much in our area. It's really bad. Really bad news for our drought situation. So I don't like that at all. And the last thing really to look at here is what are the anomalies? I mean, what are the temperatures going to look like over the next week? Here we are today, a little bit below normal. We do see that surge trying to get in here. We did see the cold air damming. You see these colder air kind of dammed up against the mountains here. That's why it's not going to be super warm until we get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Definitely looks warm. I mean, we're talking 20 degrees above normal. It's going to be a warm day as we go into tomorrow and then as we go forward. So these are looking good. This is a little bit chillier on Friday, but then a resurgence of warmth as we go into the weekends for Saturday and Sunday. and then the front makes it through, and you see all this cold air lined up. This is some pretty tight gradients. That's why there's going to be a lot of wind to transfer that colder air into here. And then we're going to be really chilly, as this is a piece of that polar vortex, like I mentioned, that kind of breaks off and influences our weather. Man, this is really cold on Tuesday. We're talking 19, 20 degrees, 22 degrees below zero, below normal, not zero, below normal. So look for some chilly weather next week on the extended. And that cold air has a hard time eroding out of here. Like I said, really not until the really far, as we get way into the future do we see it coming back. And this is crazy a heat wave here in the middle part of the country. So in the long range, you got to admit or see that that's going to transfer east, but what also is, it's really a dry pattern here for the eastern part of the United States. Do not like it. I suspect we will continue to see the severe drought and getting worried that we're going to get into the extreme drought phase in parts of the region if we get really warm. So yeah, that's your outlook for the Loudoun weather and Mid-Atlantic area. It's going to be a really warm trend. Please note, though, that we're going to have to go through a cold week next week to start, and then by the extended, it will get into the warm. We're going to be warm the next couple of days. We got chances of showers and storms. We'll have to see if the severe weather comes about over the next couple of days, just to show you kind of what's showing up here on the Storm Prediction Center's outlook. This is for tomorrow. Tomorrow in our area, this is what they're outlining. Mainly a wind threat. There's a small chance of a tornado threat, but really just a wind threat and maybe some hail. So that's what the outlook is. And I really think it just depends on exactly if storms can fire along that front or not. We'll have to see. Have a good one.